Hi guys, it's Lynn here. I hope you're having an amazing day. Now guys, this is just a quick video to show you how you can prune back the dead flower heads from your Kalanchoe blossfeldianas. And these are some that I've got here and I've had for a number of weeks now. In fact, possibly a few months. They have been flowering, guys, since just after Christmas. And they're absolutely amazing. But as you can see now, they're looking a little bit tired, the worse for wear. And there is still quite a few little blooms here on, oh, there's one knocked off there. See, they really are literally, you only have to touch them and they fall off. Some of these here are still lovely in flowering, the white and the red one here. And these are actually ones we got from the local supermarket giant Lidl's. They have some amazing plants there. And they were a bargain. And they've been flowering, as I say, for weeks on end. And the only reason I'm making this video, it is really very easy, and I'm sure a lot of you do know how to prune back on the dead flower heads. But I've had a few people question me on this and say, you know, what do I do when the flowers start to die off like this? Do you leave them or do you cut them back? Well, to be totally honest, if you leave them, completely harmless. In the nature, there's no one there to prune back the dead flower heads. So they usually just get blown away when they're outdoors in nature. The wind will blow these old dead ones away, and nature has a way of pruning itself. But obviously when you're growing plants indoors, there's nowhere, and hopefully there's no wind indoors anyway, they do just sort of die off. And as I say, they're harmless to leave. I mean, they do come off very easily, but they do look unsightly. And if you want, especially in this case where there's still some beautiful flowers on these two here, and even on the pink one, there's one left of the little orange here. You want the pretty flowers to stand out, and obviously remove the dead flower heads. As I say, it's entirely optional if you remove them or not. They usually have a habit of falling off themselves anyway, but they can look a bit untidy. And depending on where you're growing these plants, we have these indoors. You're going to be putting them into the polytunnel when the weather starts to get a bit warmer. But if you have them sort of in a greenhouse and you haven't got heating on, the humidity might be a bit higher. And if you leave dead flower heads, you can sometimes find that fungus may form on the dead flower heads. So from a sort of safety point of view, a clean point of view, you sometimes are better off removing the dead flower heads if you're growing these in a more humid environment. As I say, these are indoors in our house, so the humidity is low in here with the heating and everything, so there's no case of mould or fungus forming. But from a site point of view, I'm going to trim these back and I'm going to show you what you have to do. Now, this is a good example here. I wanted to leave them. Normally I have a habit, I like to keep everything looking nice, and I'll prune it as soon as it starts to go old looking like this. But I wanted to leave it so I could show you this video. Now I'm going to start off with this one. As you can see here, it's practically all gone. So there's no point in trying to say there's no more buds on there. And there's different ways of doing this now. Some people can pinch them back. You can either use your fingers here. As you can see, this is only small. Get right down to the very base. And I'll just show you, put these scissors down a second. Here, as you can see here, there's the dead flower. There's where it's coming from, and that's still fresh. But obviously you want to just pinch it back. Literally get right down to the base of where the bottom of the stem is, and just literally just cut it out like that and just pinch it back. And that's easy to do. So you can use your fingers to do that, as long as, of course, you have got clean fingernails. I've been repotting, so they're probably not the cleanest. But, yep, make sure you don't use dirty nails or anything like that, so you're not going to spread infection. So there you go. So that's really easy. And the other way, which I prefer to do myself, is literally just cutting back, exactly the same method. Don't worry about any tiny leaves like that, because you can just pinch them back anyway. The plant is going to grow much bushier if you cut back any tiny spindly leaves coming up from where the dead flower heads are. And again, right down to the base there, as you can see, there's the bottom of the stem here. I'll just show you. And then clip, there you go. And you literally do that with all of the dead flowers. I'm going to show a few examples on these because they're in different stages. Again here, now you can just pull that out, but again, that's a bit of a spindly leaf there. So in this case, I'm going to cut it back, pinch it back right down to the base. I'll just show you there. There you go. And that's really all you have to do. And I'll just show you this one here, another example. Again, you can leave them if you want, but I think it's going to bush the plant out better if you actually bring it down there and There you go. So that's that. So I'm just going to show you, I'm going to carry on with that one after. But as he's shown you these different examples of these Kalanchoes while they're in different stages of their flowering period. Now this one here, as you can see, that's still beautiful, healthy. And there is actually some buds still on this. So obviously I don't want to cut that back here because that's going to still in flower and these buds you're going to lose. So if you just want to tidy it up, in this case I probably would just literally make sure that the main part that is coming from there is left, and then literally just cut just that part there, and that's all you have to do, and then giving it chance then for these to still come into bud. And here now in this case I probably would just pinch it back with my fingers, just pulling these off because I want to leave that the main central part there because that is still in flower. Not much left on it, it's sort of going on its way out, but still pretty, so literally just pinch them back just like that. That's all you have to do. It's very easy with this one, and that's what you do if you've literally got, and they come at when the flowers are completely gone because they'll just come out without any effort. And as I say, that looks a lot tidier now anyway. So that's that one. Now this is another example here I want to show you. Now this side here, that is all still full of buds, all fresh coming out. This is a beautiful yellow flowering one. Still plenty of fresh buds there. But as you can see, that's well done. Another bud there. So in this case here, again, cut that back as right down to the very, very base there, and then snip. Now in this case, this is growing a little bit. This is where one of the dead flowers was, and I actually cut it back because it was looking unsightly. But this, as you can see, the plant will grow much bushier if this is cut back. So as long as I don't touch these buds here, I'm just going to cut that back literally just there. There you go. And then that's going to flower then and keep nice and compact. So that's going to be some more lovely golden yellow flowers on this one. So that's wonderful to see. And again, this is another example here. A bit of a mixed bag here. Beautiful, beautiful pink flower one. I really love the pink flowers. And as you can see, there's pretty lots of fresh flowers here, but obviously a lot of dead ones too. So in this case again, you want to make sure, because that's still got buds on it and still plenty of flowers, you just literally want to, in this case, make sure that if I cut any off, I don't cut the main central part, because you just want to make sure just clip back right down to the base there again. Again, just show you. That's the dead one removed. And obviously, now when you've got a flower bouqueting head like this and you've got a mixture of everything on, again, I would tend to just pinch off the dead ones and leave any of the other ones that look nice, rather than cut the whole thing off if it's, see, that's still pretty. Beautiful. They're lovely Kalanchoe blossfeldiana. And as I say, it's early spring. I'm just going to cut this one back here. That's it. Early spring, so it's lovely to see this flowering. It's more of a winter flowering one. It's been flowering all through the winter and still now into early spring. I'm going to cut this off here because there's not much on that one. That's that one. There you go. Leave them on. And here. And it can be a little bit more difficult when you have got plants that are in flower, but you've also got dead ones on the same flower head. Now be careful, there's a little bud on there. Might actually use my finger in this case just to pinch it out like so, and I'm going to do that with the rest of the plant. There you go. And I'm just going to show you another example here with this one, and as you see, it's got a mixture of everything on the same flower stem. So obviously I don't want to cut that back, so I want to keep these on. So in this case I will literally just see if you can see that there. Lift the little head. Now that's obviously I want to keep these on, so I'm not going to cut that back there, not until that's died off. So in this case I'm just going to prune back any of the dead ones like so. That's really all you have to do, and rather than bore you with the whole thing, I'm going to show you what it looks like after it's all been pruned back. And I'm just going to show you another example here. Obviously there's two healthy looking flowers and then dead ones on here, so I don't want to cut that right back because I want to keep the flowers. So I'm just going to literally cut the little one in the middle there, take that off, and then just pinch back any of the old ones on there. And it is a time consuming task, but it's very therapeutic. Again with that one, and then I'm going to do the same then with this lovely big red one. And as I say, it really is that easy to do. And then I'm going to stop the video now, rather than let it go on and watch the whole process. And I'm going to show you what it looks like when it's all pruned. And there you go, guys, that's them all neatly pruned back, and I've left all the lovely flowers that are still in beautiful bloom and pruned back all the deadheads. And this one is the only one that's completely flowerless. That was the lovely purple flowering one, and this one here obviously was the golden yellow one, and we should get probably a few more weeks out of these still, which is amazing. Now, what I'm going to be doing probably in the next couple of weeks or so, possibly in the next few days, I'm going to be repotting these Kalanchoes into a lovely big bowl arrangement. Because rather than have them all in individual pots, they do desperate to be repotted anyway. I'm going to put them into a lovely bowl arrangement, probably with a few crystals around as well to make them look lovely. And so stay tuned for that future video. And what I'm going to be doing, obviously, the biggest thing when these are out of flower is they look practically identical. Now, some of them have different sort of shaped leaves around the edges, but I'd never remember in a million years which one flowers, what colour flowers they're going to be, because they do look so alike. In fact, identical when they're not in flower. So when I put them into the bowl garden, I'm going to be sticking little labels, little the name tags alongside each one. Like, for example, I'm going to put that one there is the lilac flowering one, this one the golden yellow flowering one, pink flowering one, just so I know which one is which. And while it may not necessarily matter for myself now, if I was to give these away as cuttings and take, because they're very easy to propagate from cuttings, so I'll probably be trying that later on in the year, and I was to gift them to people, and I wouldn't know what flowering colour they were, it'd be very difficult. So that's a good thing to do, is obviously make sure I'm going to be labelling what they are, what colour flowers, and stay tuned for that potting up video then, guys. So guys, I hope you found that useful, and if you have, this is a very common, easy plant to grow. Now, the hardest thing is sometimes getting them to reflower again, because a lot of people buy these, a common house plant, and they put them in the middle of the living room, and then they just slowly die off, or they never flower at worst. But with these plants are succulents. They love to have as much sunshine as possible. And unlike other succulents, they do like to be kept watered throughout the winter, because with most succulents, they do like to have a dry resting period from sort of late fall, autumn until early spring. But with these Kalanchoes and some of the other succulents do like to be kept still lightly watered, as they're obviously winter flowering plants, and they don't like to be completely kept bone dry. And the care is a little bit different with them, so it's just something to bear in mind, that as long as you keep these in a very sunny position and still keep them lightly watered throughout the winter months, then they should reward you with flowers every year. And a good little tip is I like to use tomato fertiliser to fertilise my cacti and succulents. And in this case, I like to use MacLeod organic tomato fertiliser, because it does help to encourage blooming, and I only use it at half the strength that they recommend for tomatoes, because obviously I want flowers, I don't want tomatoes growing on my succulents and cacti. And me and Hans use it to great effect, and if you're unsure where to get it from, links down below to Amazon, where it's often the best value to buy it from there. And big bottle of it, and it lasts for absolutely ages, guys. And I have noticed so much difference with my cacti and succulents flowering by using tomato feed, and it's good for the plants. And you know, as well as that, they also do a fantastic houseplant fertiliser as well, MacLeod organic. And because me and Hans are vegan, we always look for vegan alternatives when it comes to plant fertilisers and things like that. Obviously, it's not always possible to get something completely vegan, but we do try our best. And the organic range of MacLeod fertilisers is vegan friendly, and they don't use animal ingredients, so that's another good thing. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. And I want to send you loads of love, heaps of happiness, and tons of flower power. As always, from Ireland. And until the next video, guys. Bye. 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 Can't resist saying goodbye from the plants, guys.